Okay, so this is the second part of the LensCrafter logo assignment. I am updating the assignment page as I'm going through and recording this with a little bit more instructions, so that if you want to follow the instructions here in the assignment page, or go back and reference to them as you're working, as well as watching the video, I'm updating it here as well. Okay, so I did add in the instructions for the stroke weight and filling the frames and the lenses with white. So I did add that information in here. So now we're going to move on to the next part, where you're going to group the eyeglasses and the lenses and the eyebrows together so that everything moves together when we copy and paste it onto the new document. Okay, so I'm going to switch back over to Illustrator. Okay, so here is my finished drawing of the eyebrows and the glasses. Okay, so I'm going to go to the select menu and go to select all, or the keyboard shortcut is Command or Control A on your keyboard, and that will select all of the pieces on your document. So in this case, it's just going to select the glasses, the lenses, and the eyebrows. It will not select the template because that template layer has been locked, and you're not able to select it. So when I go over to my layers panel, you can see that there is this little red dot next to the draw here layer, and that's letting me know that everything on that layer is selected. You will not see one next to the template layer because it is locked. So this little lock here indicates that that layer is locked. You're not able to move anything on there or manipulate anything on there. Only this layer here that says draw here. Okay, so you will see that everything is selected because there's a red bounding box around everything, and the little indicator here of this little red square in my layers. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the object menu at the top and go to group. And the keyboard shortcut is Command or Control G. So if you want to get used to using keyboard shortcuts instead of going to the menus, Command or Control G will give you the same option. So under the object menu, group, and you really won't see anything change on the screen because you already have everything selected. But if I was to deselect, click anywhere away from that drawing, and then click on any part of it and move it, you'll see that all of the pieces move together. So that's what it means by grouping everything together. All of the pieces are now grouped together. And this is an important step in this process because when we move over to the new document, we're going to align things so that they are centered, the text and the eyeglasses. And if this wasn't grouped, all of these pieces would move separately and everything wouldn't be aligned. I mean, everything would be aligned, but your lenses and your eyebrows would no longer be in the same place as they are now. So that's why we're doing the grouping process at this point. So everything moves together. Okay, so now that I have grouped that, I'm going to create a new document. So File, New, and we're going to create a new letter size document. So if you go to the Print tab up here at the top, you will see the document preset for letter. Or you can come over here in the preset details over here. I'm going to change this to inches. And then if you have whatever, you can type in this document size. So 8.5. So you want to make sure that you have inches selected here as your units of increments, units of measurement. Because if you have any of these other ones selected and you put 8.5 by 11 in there and you go ahead and create the document, it will probably be a very tiny document. Okay, so make sure that you have it set to inches and then do 8.5 by 11. And then the orientation of the document is going to be a portrait. Okay, so remember to change it to inches and then click create. And here is your blank document. Okay, so I need to hide. Where is that? Oh, here it is. Hide meeting controls so that you can see the window, the tabs up here. Okay. All right, so now that you've created the new document, you have two tabs up here, two file tabs. One is the original file, the glasses, and then the second one is this untitled document here, the blank document. Okay, so I need to switch over to the glasses. So I'm just going to click on that tab. So it toggles between the two of them. And I'm going to make sure that everything is selected again. So select all. And then I'm going to go to the edit menu, copy, or Command or Control C. Click on the tab up here for the new document. And right now it just says untitled. And then I'm going to go to edit, paste, or Command or Control V. And there are the eyeglasses. Okay. It's going to already be selected when you paste it in there. So make sure that you have your selection tool selected, the first arrow, and then you're just going to drag that up to the top of your page. Okay, so let me do that again. I'm going to go back over to the glasses tab. Make sure everything is selected. So select all from the select menu and go to the edit menu, copy, click on the new document tab. So it switches over to the blank document, and then go to the edit menu and paste. I have the selection tool selected. So I'm going to move that up to the top of my document. Okay. Let me switch back over to Canvas. Okay, so we're at this point here. We have copied the glasses, switched over to the new document, and pasted that onto the blank page. And I have moved the selection, using the selection tool, move the eyeglasses to the top of the page. Okay, so the next step is we're going to go to the Adobe website and look for two fonts. Sometimes these fonts are not available to everyone. I had the issue in the classroom when I teach this class that the fonts that I have listed here aren't available to certain people depending on their accounts. Most of you have a personal account, so you should be able to use it with no problem or select these fonts. But if for whatever reason, while I'm walking you through this, you do not have the ability to activate these two fonts that I have here, go ahead and select some other fonts, and I will walk you through that as well. Okay, so we have to install the fonts that were requested to use. We're using the Adobe fonts to install that. It's a website that's associated with Adobe. I have the link here to it, so fonts.adobe.com. So go ahead and click on that. Okay. So since I'm already logged into my Adobe account, that sign in option is not there. So let me go ahead and sign out here. Okay, so when you go to the Adobe font website, you will see a little sign in button. And you are going to use your Adobe account login. And for you, it is the personal account. But for me, I'm going to use my company school account. And then I have to log in here. Okay. So when you log in, you will see, it probably will log you in at home, this page here. There is a place to search for fonts. You can browse all fonts. There's different links to get to all fonts. I also have included in here the links to those two fonts. It'll take you directly to those pages for each of those fonts. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the first one here. I'm back over on the assignment page. And then it gives you a page that talks about the font, shows you what the font looks like. So you have the font name and then the different styles. So, you know, you have an italic version, a regular version, a bold, medium. Every font has different styles to it. Some fonts don't have any styles to them, but that just helps you create, you know, contrast and different. You can use one font on your page and then, you know, use different styles to make it look like it's, you know, kind of a different font, but in reality, it's the same font. And when we get into InDesign, I'll go over fonts a little bit more. But there is some information about the font on here. As you can see with this particular font, there are a lot of styles associated with it. And then it talks about a little bit down here about the font designer and so forth. Okay. And every page on the Adobe website, font website, has information like this. Okay. So let me deactivate this. Okay. So when you come to the font website, you will see a button here that says activate fonts. In this case, there's quite a few different versions of this font, but we're only going to use the Acumen Pro, the first one. And again, if this is not active for you on your particular account, go ahead and find another font that you want to use, and then just follow these same steps. Okay, so when I click on activate fonts link here or pop down menu, you'll see these toggle buttons here. So I only want to activate Acumen Pro. So I'm just going to click on that little toggle button here and it will turn blue. And then you should get, a little message down here at the bottom that a certain amount of font have been activated. And then when you go over to Illustrator, Photoshop, or any of the Adobe products, it will show up automatically in your font list. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back over to the logo design here, and then I'm going to click on the link for that other font. that's in the doc or the page. And I am going to undo that one again, just so that you can see. Okay. Let me refresh this here. Okay, just to make sure. Okay. So with this particular font, there's only 4 fonts. So it'll let you know that you're only activating 4 fonts. But again, if the font has multiple styles or multiple fonts associated with that particular font, it will have a pop-down menu. So in this case, I'm just going to click activate those 4 fonts. And it gives me the message that it has been activated, and it says all fonts active over here. Okay. So again, if these fonts do not allow you to activate them, find another font that you want to use by going to all fonts. And it gives you a list of all the fonts that are available to you on the Adobe website. Okay, so there's over 220 pages of fonts. Okay. And you can type here in the sample text what text you are going to be typing or including in your design. And then you can see what it looks like, a display, or I mean, a sample of what it's going to look like. Okay. And this is true for anything that you're designing, and you want to see what the font looks like before you actually download it and use it on your design. Okay. Okay, so okay. All right, so I'm going to now go back over to Illustrator and start working with the text. Okay, so let me make sure this went to Illustrator. Okay, so I'm back over in Illustrator. I am now going to take my type tool or text tool. I call it both. It's the technical term is type tool, but I also say text tool. It's the T in the toolbox. And then I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to select the type tool, and I'm going to come over here into my blank document anywhere. Don't click anywhere near the actual logo, because you can see my little cursor is changed to a different, from a square to a circle. So you want to click anywhere away from there. It's going to, once you click the type tool, you're going to see some text appear, and it's highlighted. It's like placeholder text that you can use. So I'm going to type the word lens crafters. I can't spell this morning. Lens crafters. And then I'm going to highlight the text. So I'm going to hover over it. Let me zoom in a little bit here so you can see that. Okay, so I have the blinking cursor, the blinking I-beam. I'm going to start at the back and move my mouse and cursor to the left so it's highlighted. And then I'm going to go over to the properties panel. And I'm going to go down here to the character panel section. I'm going to click on the pop down menu. And you will see the list of fonts that are installed on my computer. And then right here are the two fonts that I activated from the Adobe website. You can see that they are, you'll see like a little cloud next to them over here on the far right. That's letting you know that it's activated from the Adobe website, and it is active or accessible from any of the Adobe products at that point, because you've included it into your library or your account for your Adobe products. Okay. And the other ones down here are fonts that I have installed directly onto my computer. So that's the difference in those little icons. So a little cloud means that you have activated it from the Adobe website. And then the other little icons, the O and the T's, those are installed directly onto my computer. Okay. These other fonts that I have installed are not Adobe fonts. I've had to download them. And when we get into the InDesign portion of the class, I'll go over of how to find a font that's not on the Adobe website and install it. Okay. So I'm going to select the two fonts that I have. So the first one I'm going to use is Adonis. So I'm going to highlight that in the list. And again, if the fonts that I have suggested are not available to you, and you activate some other fonts to use, make sure you remember the names of those fonts that you activated, and you should have them. They should appear right here in the top part of your font list. And these are most recent fonts too that I have used as well. If it's not here, just scroll down on your list of fonts until you find that particular font. Okay. So you have the character panel here on your properties, but if you also go under the window menu and go down to type towards the very bottom, you will see the character, go type and then move over and then character. And that will bring up your character panel as a standalone panel that you can use instead of going over here to the character panel. Okay, so it looks the same. So you can see it looks exactly the same as I scroll through all the different fonts that I have on my computer. I have those same options here. So I'm going to use Adonis. And again, every font has a style. Not every font, but most fonts have a style associated with them. So regular, bold, italic, and so on. Some other fonts have quite a few more styles associated with them. So for this particular one, we're going to change it to bold. So that second pop down menu here, we're going to change it to bold. And you can see it's reflecting in both of these, the standalone character panel and then the one on the properties. And then we're going to change the font size. So right here where you see the 12, if you go to the pop down menu, you see that there are some standard or default font sizes. In this case, we're going to use 45. We're going to change the font size to 45. And as you can see, there is no 45 in this list. So I am going to click in here in the size, set the size. What do you call it? Went right out of the field to change the size. And you're going to type in 45 and then press your return key. And you can see the font size changes. So you can either do it here in the standalone one or over here in the properties panel. Okay. So once you have changed the font size to 45, go grab or select your selection tool. And then we're going to go either, you can either do select all from the select menu. So everything is selected. Whoops, change that back to 45. No. Okay, make sure it's highlighted again. And then change this to 45. Okay, then I'm going to go to my selection tool. So you can do go to the select menu, select all, or you can hold down your shift key and select. So click on the first item that you need to select with your selection tool, hold down your shift key, and then select the next item that you want to select. So that's how you can select multiple objects without selecting everything on the page. If I had 10 other items here on the page, but I only wanted to select these two things, then that's how I would do it. So using the selection tool and then holding down your shift key and selecting the pieces that you want to select. Okay, so once you do that, if you notice over here in my properties panel, a new panel has appeared, or a new set of options has appeared. It's the align panel right here. You can also get the align panel, have it active from under the window menu. And then it's a standalone panel as well. In the properties panel, you can't see everything like you can here on the standalone one. There are 3 dots here that you can click, and it will expand the rest of the align panel for you to use. Okay, so whichever you feel more comfortable using. If you want to have the standalone one, you can, or if you want to use the one over here in your properties panel. Okay, so we're going to align everything horizontally. Okay, so we want the lens crafters and the eyeglasses to be aligned, centered. So you want with the text centered under the eyeglasses. So I'm going to click on this first button here, or second, not first button, the middle button of this first set of options. And you can see that moved everything centered. Now, remember when I said it was important to have everything grouped? If this wouldn't have been grouped, all of these shapes would have moved into the center, and then it would have had everything centered, not just the text and the grouped eyeglasses. Okay, so that was an important step. So if you miss that step when we were on doing the glasses, you're going to want to go back and make sure that you do that and then repeat those steps again. Okay, so you have everything aligned here the way you want it. Okay, because you don't want the lenses to be one direction and then the actual glass, the frames, be another direction. Okay. All right, so now that I have added the text and aligned everything, the glasses and the text, I'm going to now duplicate this, the glasses and the text, so that all I have to do then at that point is change the font of the text at the bottom here for the second version of the logo. Okay, so you can do the copy and paste method if you want to. So you can go to edit, copy, and then edit, paste. And then using your move tool, you can reposition the second set or second logo towards the bottom. Or I can select all of my pieces. So in this case, because there's only the text and the logo on there, I can go to select all. Okay. And then I'm going to hold down my option key and hover over my glasses. So let me zoom in a little bit here so you can see it. I'm going to hold down my Option key, and you're going to see a double arrow. You're going to see a white arrow, a black arrow, and a white arrow. And what this is going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you to duplicate what is selected with one step, as opposed to edit, copy, and edit, paste. So it saves you, 2 steps. It's only a 1-step process at this point. Okay. So I'm going to zoom back out. I'm going to hold down my Option key and hover over the glasses. And then I'm going to just drag, holding down my mouse and the Option key. I'm going to drag the glasses and the text straight down from there. Okay. So again, you can do the edit, copy, edit, paste if you want, or you can use this method where you hold down your Option key and make a copy of your objects that you have selected. Okay, then I'm going to take my type tool, get my type tool, highlight the text again. So just the text. And I'm going to go to my character panel. So either the floating one or the one attached to your properties. And go on the pop down menu here. And I want to find Acumen Pro. Okay, so either at the top, or just scroll down until you find it. Or if you use different fonts than what was suggested, you just keep scrolling until you find the font on the list. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to use Acumen. And it picked up the style from the last time because this particular font had a bold style to it. If it didn't have a bold style to it, it would default to a different style. Okay, so the second one is the Acumen Pro, or whatever font you happen to download if these fonts are not available to you. I don't have to change the size of anything because I made a duplicate of this one. So it's exactly the same size as the one above it. But the only other thing we need to check is the alignment of the glasses and the text. Every font has different settings or different spacing for the letters. So these letters, it may look like that this word got pushed a little bit to the right of what would be considered center. So I want to just double check to make sure that the glasses and the text are aligned. So I have the text selected with the selection tool, hold down my Shift key, click on those glasses. So I have the bounding box around everything. And then I'm going to click on horizontal align, and you probably will see a little bit of shift of the text and the glasses. So just a slight shift. Okay, so let me do that again. So here is the original one. And then if I click on horizontal align center, you can see that the glasses and the text shifted just a little bit. Okay. So that's what you have to do for this part of the assignment. So you first trace the template of the glasses, and then follow those steps that I went over in the video. And I have also posted those same steps in the Canvas assignment. And then you create the new document, paste your glasses here into the new document, add your text using the type tool, downloading and activating those 2 fonts from the Adobe website. And then you add your text, and then you duplicate your second set of eyeglasses, change the font, and then make sure that the alignment is what it should be for the 2, for the glasses and the text. And then the final step you're going to do is save this as your last name and glasses. I think it's glasses, or is it Lens Crafters? Let me double check. So no, it's your last name and then Lens Crafters. So let me cancel that. So file, save as, and then your last name and Lens Crafters. Okay. Then you're going to save that wherever you're saving your files on your computer. And then you're going to go back over to Canvas and you are going to submit your assignment to the Canvas page. Okay. And I'm going to go back in and update some of these instructions just to kind of go along more with the video that I just recorded. And then I will update this and add the links of the videos to the assignment page, as well as the Illustrator videos or the lecture videos as well. Okay. All right. So as usual, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Again, this is the President's Day weekend, President's Day holidays today and Monday, but I will answer any questions that you have if you email me back or email me any questions. Okay. So I hope you guys have a good weekend. And I will probably do another, maybe an update video on Monday or Tuesday, just to see how everybody's doing. And then if you have any questions, so don't hesitate to email me and I will get back to you as soon as possible. All right. Have a good weekend.